Welcome everyone to our first Meet Made Smarter LinkedIn Live. My name's Lisa Rue. I'm the Comms and Marketing Manager for Made Smarter, and I'm joined this afternoon with three of my wonderful colleagues to talk a little bit more about the programme and to find out what we've been up to, who we've been helping, and also how you can get involved with the programme as well. So if I start with yourself, Alan, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Alan Dilworth and I am the Programme Manager for Made Smarter in the Northwest. In my past, I've spent 20 odd years in manufacturing, various operational and logistics, and became interested in economic development. And here we are with Made Smarter. The pilot started in 2018, and I was sort of part of that rollout process that has now gone to four other regions, including us. So that's the Northeast, West Mids, East Mids, and Yorkshire and the Humber. And with a bit of luck and following wind, we should be rolling that out across the rest of the country in the next year or so.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Alan. Kev, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, thanks, Lucy. So I'm Kevin Smith and I'm the Lead Technology Adoption Specialist on Made Smarter. I've been with the programme since the pilot phase. Before that, I worked in the digital sector. So in my role, it's very much about bringing those skills that I learned in the digital sector and applying them to the manufacturing sector. I cover a lot of the different technology areas that we're going to discuss in a little bit, but probably my main area of expertise is in data and systems. So that covers everything really, all the way from basic data capture to more advanced applications of technology like artificial intelligence.
Excellent, thank you. Lots of interesting stuff to unpick there. And Ruth, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ruth Halewood and I lead the Organisation and Workforce Development team as part of the Made Smarter Northwest programme. Prior to joining Made Smarter, I came from an industry background covering HR and organisation development areas. I've worked with SME manufacturers and helped implement different kind of technology projects that they've been looking to do. So I bring some hands-on experience of how that works in a SME environment to the programme to help our clients with that.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Okay, well, I think then maybe the good starting point is what we do. You know, a lot of people have heard of Made Smarter, especially our LinkedIn followers. Alan touched a little bit then on the national rollout, which is something that was mentioned in the autumn statement recently, and that's going to be happening in the next couple of years. But let's maybe get back to basics, Alan, and could you just describe for me kind of what is Made Smarter, who we're for, and what we do essentially?
Thanks, Lisa. Yeah, Made Smarter is a programme aimed at manufacturing and engineering businesses. Typically, we work with the SME contingent, so that's less than 250 full-time equivalent people, and approximately 35 million turnover is probably the upper limit for eligibility to the programme. The programme itself is aimed at helping individual firms on a one-to-one basis adopt this digital technology, which everyone sort of hears and reads about so much. And so we're here to demystify it for you. We're able to do some investment support to de-risk it for you. And we have a wonderful set of different elements to the programme. So every single client has a different experience depending on their individual needs when they come to see us.
Okay, perfect. So just to get a better idea then, kind of who are our typical clients? I know you mentioned there in terms of size, but just trying to get an idea of the variety of people that we can work with at Made Smarter.
We cover pretty much every sector, as long as you're a manufacturer. So typically food companies work with a lot of food companies. We've worked with a lot of assembly type companies and also some companies that are really quite on the edge of manufacturing, for example, making puppets for sort of very famous film shows and that have won Oscars recently. So they're still manufacturing these items, although they're not producing millions and millions of widgets. What they do is still manufacturing. So there really is a sort of huge range right across the Northwest in particular. Is very rich in terms of its manufacturing environment.
Yeah, perfect. And I think that's important, isn't it, for people to realise that we do deal with a lot of different sectors. And as Kev will touch on in a second, the different types of technologies that we're actually implementing into these businesses. And just to make sure that we've covered the top line, then what's the criteria for a business that would like to engage with Made Smart, Alan?
Because there's these regional programs for the Northwest, which is where we're based at the moment. So you must be in the Northwest. So that's basically from the sort of top end of the country on the west side, so Carlisle, down to about Stoke and the left side of the Pennines. That is defined as the Northwest. There are 5 LEP areas in there technically, which is sort of Cumbria, Lancashire, Greater Manchester, Liverpool City and Cheshire Warrington. So that's the geography. Manufacturing companies, engineering businesses, small to medium-sized enterprises.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So let's get a little bit into what we can actually help them with through Made Smarter. So there's kind of 2 strands, which we'll get into, but Kev looks after the technology adoption side and Ruth's looking after the skills and leadership side. So if we start with the technology side, Kev, could you tell us a bit more about the type of technologies that we're introducing into businesses?
Sure. So we work with a sort of range of technologies that are known as industrial digital technologies. That's quite a broad spectrum of different ones, and they kind of make up what is also known and referred to as Industry 4, which is a bit of a marketing term used to describe a way of connecting up all these different technologies. So there's a thread of data throughout manufacturing systems. Some of the technology areas we often work with companies to adopt include the Internet of Things, which is interconnected devices and sensors used to collect and exchange data. We talk about artificial intelligence, which I mentioned before, which is used for tasks like predictive maintenance and quality control and supply chain management. We talk about big data analytics, and that's the analysis of large data sets to uncover patterns and correlations and trends in things. We also cover things like cybersecurity. That's just really emphasizing the importance of protecting industrial systems and networks from digital attacks. Cloud computing is a really important enabling technology, which is basically helps companies manage vast amounts of data without the need for substantial on-site IT infrastructure. We cover things like additive manufacturing, which is about creating new objects by adding different layers based on digital models. We cover things like robotics and automation, which is the use of robots to handle different processes and machineries in the industry without significant human intervention. Augmented and virtual reality, they're sort of used for training and maintenance to improve the design and visualization of products. Things like digital twins, that's a virtual representation of a physical object. I think that's it off the top of my head. So yeah,
you've done well there.
I did quite well.
It's a good test. Good test of what we offer.
4 years in my head, it's stuck after all that time.
So it's probably worth then thinking a little bit about for people watching this, what is the process? So what we're talking about and why we're talking about Made Smart is that we're a government-backed initiative, and we're talking about the technologies as you've just gone through very succinctly, Kev. But we can offer grant funding to actually implement these technologies in manufacturers. That's how it all comes together, isn't it? So what's the process there then, Kev? If someone sees this and thinks, actually, we need augmented reality, we need better data and systems, how would they engage with us and how would that work?
Well, first and foremost, it's not about pushing these technologies onto people. It's very much about technology pull. So what we're really trying to do is understand the challenges and opportunities for those technologies. So how we go about that is that we work with our customers. We use a diagnostic workshop where we get people within a manufacturing team to come together to discuss various aspects of their business. This helps us understand, say, the challenges and opportunities for adoption. We then work with them to put together a digital transformation roadmap, and strategy, which sets out what they need to do in order to bring those technologies into their business. And once we have that in place and we know that the company is investing in the right technology at the right time, it's then that we can talk about grant funding with them. And we can offer 50% match grant funding, and that's capped at £20,000. That really helps to incentivize them to speed up that technology adoption process.
Yeah, and at the moment it's one project per business, is that correct?
That's correct. One project per business.
Right, okay. And when we say that, they engage with us and they're talking to us, tell us a bit more about the team then, because we have some really skilled technologists within our team, don't we? So tell us a bit about the team that you run and some of their specialisms.
We do indeed. So yeah, I've got a very grand job title, as I introduced myself earlier. I'm a technology adoption specialist. So within my team, I have people that are experts in some of those technologies that I just introduced there. But also, experts in strategy, experts in, it's Ruth's team. I'm stealing Ruth's thunder as well, because I consider Ruth as part of the team because we all work together, really. So we've got experts in all those different technology areas. So we can be confident that we are, helping our customers invest in the right technologies at the right time for their business.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's really important, actually, what you said. A business will come on and it's very much about looking at their individual needs and their individual understanding and then seeing what technology would work best for them. Like you say, we're not trying to push them in a certain direction. We're very agnostic, obviously, because of the way that we're funded. So no, I think that's a really good point, Kev. Okay, so then moving a bit more to the skill side of things, maybe you can set the scene a bit, Ruth, because from what I've seen so far in the program, I'm only 3 months in. A lot of businesses would like to invest in technology, but that's kind of only half the story, isn't it? Because they need to have the right skills and leadership to be able to sustain it and to understand it and sell it into their own business in some respects.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if a business is looking at, potentially adopting a new technology, the starting point is what's their strategy for the business, and then what are the critical priorities they want to take forward, and then which of these technologies are tools that can help them get there. And also alongside that, you need, some strong leadership. If you're going to be looking at implementing a new technology, it's going to involve changes to the day-to-day working that the people in your business are going through. So that's what's really nice about the Made Smarter program, is that we have this support as well. So we're helping a business get the people in the business ready for the changes that will come with adopting that technology. I don't know if you want me to talk more about the programs that we have at this stage, or if you
Yeah, I think so. So it might be good then to just describe a bit about how your side of Made Smarter works. So, who's in the team and also what's available in terms of help and on what courses we run, essentially.
Yes, of course. We have a small but very experienced team of organisation and workforce development specialists, and we can offer bespoke support to all of our clients to look at their particular situations. And we also have a couple of programs that we're able to deliver with the Made Smarter funding. These kind of go hand in hand, really, for each client, and we will talk to all clients about both of these programs. One focuses on the senior leadership within a business, and it's very much focused on strategy, how to identify your critical priorities going forward, and where digital tools can help with that. So it's partly, it really is focused on the strategy piece, but then also looking at how to identify opportunities and then how to go about engaging with stakeholders and really getting people to focus in on digital project areas. So it goes hand in hand with their customer journey with Made Smarter, but it helps them really focus on that strategic piece. It also runs as a cohort program. So there's a lot of really excellent peer learning that goes on with that group, where, that it's all people in similar positions within their businesses that are working through this program together. And there's a lot of really good learning that comes out of that, and really builds a kind of a network of contacts, helping each other with what's going on in their businesses, taking that forwards beyond the program. The other supported program that we offer, again fully funded through the program, is more at an operational level within the business. So that's aimed at the people that are the digital champions within that business, the people that are out there on the shop floor, helping other people to engage with whatever new technology has been put in. And this is really aimed at helping them to lead that through with the people around them. So it offers, it's again, short kind of bite-sized chunks on a digital champions toolkit that we have, which focuses again on a little bit on the strategy, but then on how to make a plan for the project, and also how to identify where people are at within the kind of the changes that are going through and how to relate to those different individuals. It's all about planning your project and then getting people on board with it. So that's the difference really between the other program, which is more on the overall strategy, is a bigger piece. But through that program, people get to learn about this toolkit again in a peer environment with the other people that are in the cohort. We're working in partnership with Amazon in terms of where we're delivering the workshop, so they get to see some state-of-the-art technology in use within an Amazon fulfillment center. They also then get to go on a site visit to see a business similar to themselves, a small and medium sized manufacturing or engineering business that have implemented a digital project, and hear from them what their experience has been through that. And then we also offer some coaching for those individuals. So it's a lot of support for those digital champions to help them lead through the changes in their businesses that are linked to the projects that we're funding through the programme.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you. That was a really good overview. And I think one of the things that struck me when I came on a visit with you guys is how real world this is. You know, this isn't just sort of teaching people in a classroom how to apply digital skills. We actually have really good partnerships with people like AMRC, and Print City was the one that I was at. And I think being able to see these technologies and the forefront of these technologies like 3D printing in a facility like that at MMU, I think they get a lot of benefit from that. Is that the kind of feedback that you get, Ruth?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think people always like to see how somebody else is doing it rather than just be told about it. So I think that's probably a common theme throughout our program. It's, you know, making people aware of what they can do with these digital technology tools, but actually seeing what somebody else has done with it first. And with the particular programs that we run, you know, you mentioned Manchester Metropolitan there. You know, we've got these partners from, from the university network, and it's really useful to use that kind of academic expertise, but very much relating it to the real life situation. Because one thing we know from the clients that we work with is if you're running your own business, manufacturing, engineering, a smaller or medium business, one of the things you always have is time poor. So you want to get those bits of information that you can take away and start using straight away in your business to see some real impact. So that's what we've tried to do, harness those great partnerships with the expertise that's out there, and then bring that back for them in a way that they can start using straight away.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the other thing you mentioned, which is really important, is that peer element. So I think what you'll probably see as well, Kev, is that when you come across people who are getting on the program and looking at Made Smarter, they all must have shared issues. You know, they must have sort of shared inefficiencies that they might feel quite stressed about. If you're running a business and you need to be more digital than you are, I mean, what's the kind of mindset of people that come into the program, Kev? And do you see a lot of commonalities, I guess?
Yeah, there are a lot of commonalities, and I think the biggest blocker is probably time to engage with all of this. There's a lot of information me and Ruth have just given you there, and I think one point to stress is, I like to think our job is to make all this simple for our customers. So we're very aware that manufacturers have limited time to invest. They know they need to do this. They know they want to do this, but they find it difficult to make the time. So, everything we do is with that in mind, to make things simple, easy to access. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the whole point of the support, isn't it? The fact that we're the technology experts, so that they don't kind of have to be, or they're not going to be to start with, but hopefully after dealing with Ruth's team and dealing with Kev's team, they're going to be in a much better position. So I guess from your point of view, Alan, we've talked a little bit about how the program's working, the two different strands. What are the kind of impacts that we've seen from this? Because we launched 4 or 5 years ago now. We've obviously just got the go ahead for a national rollout, so it is doing well. It's being recognised by government. How do you feel about how it's going, I guess?
The programme has been amazingly impactful. You hear a lot of noise on the media, both social and national media, about robots taking over our jobs, which is a half truth. I mean, yes, robots are taking over some jobs, but the programme has got absolute real evidence of creating hundreds and hundreds of jobs in the Northwest as a result of this investment. It's not that the robots are taking over the sort of mundane, repetitive tasks that humans are not great at, but it's the fact that the overall efficiencies of the businesses are improving all the while. They produce more stuff. They need more folks to deal with all of that. So the employment impact is significant as a result of the work that Ruth and her team are doing, and other sort of elements that we can bring into the roadmaps for clients. The number of people upskilling is in the thousands at the moment now for the Northwest, and multiply that by 5 across all the regions, there's a significant impact there. I think one of the most interesting impacts that I would probably want to draw everybody's attention to is the payback. Now, based on the average number of projects that we do and looking at the timescales, the average Made Smarter investment pays itself within 15 months. And that is remarkable, really, when you think about it. I'm sure a lot of FDs and MDs will be seeing paybacks of 3 years, 4 years being promoted as a sort of sensible investment. Well, 15 months is absolutely exceptional for this. So there's, why wouldn't you come and talk to us, I think I'd say. And just to pick up on a couple of points that Ruth and Kev made, I think from the perspective that I have, which is sort of more of an oversight than any particular expertise, you're not alone. There's an awful lot of businesses like you, so don't be frightened to pick up the phone or send us an email. It's a complex business support environment. We're aiming to provide a one-stop place for you to come as a manufacturer to get this level of support. And, we have the networks that Ruth described of people that have got the T-shirts and the battle scars, and they will help you. It's an amazingly supportive community. So, yeah, don't be afraid. Just pop us an email, register on the website, and we will help you.
Yeah, perfect. And is there anything else that you want to add, Kev or Ruth, to that? I mean, I guess we've talked a little bit about what some of the barriers may be, being time poor, but like Alan's just described, it does kind of pay off in a pretty short span. This is something that, if a manufacturer maybe doesn't get on board with it, you don't want to be left behind either, do you? So do you see some of that? What are the kind of main drivers for people engaging with us and even scoping it out to see if it's something that would help them? Kev?
I'll take that.
Thought you'd frozen. Don't do that to me.
No. The main drivers really are, around efficiency, productivity. Manufacturers are under a lot of different stresses from different places at this moment in time, and being able to be more efficient, so to do more with less, is a really important thing for them at the moment in order to not just help them grow, but also survive in these difficult economic conditions. So, yeah, it's really fundamental that they start looking at these technologies, I think, because they can really make a big difference.
Yeah, Ruth, is there anything that you want to add from a skills and leadership point of view? I know I've mentioned people may not think they've got the time to prioritize this, but I suppose in a way, once they get those skills, it will have that knock-on effect where they're probably managing the time, or they're managing what to focus on a little bit better.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there can be a fear that they don't have time to commit to these to any program, but we have deliberately designed our programs to fit around busy busy working lives of our SME clients. So everything is bite-sized. And then, you instantly going back to the business with something that you've picked up from that session that you can start to use. So the people that have been on the programme so far that maybe have been a little bit worried they might not have enough time to commit to the full thing have actually said when they're there, this is really, really useful to actually have this short block of time that I'm taking out of the business to focus on the business rather than just the day-to-day, because it's very easy that because there's always so much to do, you get stuck doing that. And every single delegate we've ever had on these programs has found, lots of usefulness from the content delivery and also the peer groups and the networks that they build through the program. So that would be my message, really. Don't be afraid, or don't think because you feel like you don't have the time that it's not for you. It really can work for you, and why not give it a try? And find out what it could do to take your business forward.
Yeah, definitely. And I think one of the places that would be a good start for anyone watching this and thinking about it is obviously on our website. That's the place to register an interest, but also we have case studies. So obviously we support mainly with the technology and skills and leadership, but we do support from a marketing point of view as well. So we will surface, case studies. We will work with businesses all the way through, and we'll document and kind of promote what differences Made Smarter is kind of making to their business. So it might be a good place to start for someone who's interested to have a look at our case studies and see some real life examples of people who've been through skills and leadership, some people who've, you know, obviously had the technologies put in place. I think, Alan, did you have something that you wanted to add there?
Yeah, just a couple of final thoughts, really. Firstly, technology is a tool, but ultimately it's the people that make it work. So the blend that we offer of that sort of people-led technological approach thing is going to help you. So, you know, please do contact us. I sound a bit desperate here. The other thing is I would like to sort of play a part in changing the conversation about manufacturing. It is a really cool place to work. You know, we're not in dark satanic mills anymore. If you look at the way factories have developed over the decades, what you see now is incomparable to what went before, and it's a well-paid sector. It's endlessly stimulating, and I would really recommend, you know, everybody just thinks a little bit more about manufacturing as a possible career option as well.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good point, actually, because you do have a set image, don't you, with manufacturing, and I've worked in as a business journalist before, and I've interviewed manufacturers, but actually since joining Made Smarter, I found it really fascinating. You know, some of the case studies that we've dealt with, the fact that they have smart factories. Going to NERIC the other day, the robotics centre, which is part of Salford University, absolutely blew my mind. The kind of, you know, actual equipment that people are using in mass manufacturing. So yeah, I don't know if we're going to say, well, make manufacturing cool, Alan. I don't know if that's a thing to say, but okay, sorry. Maybe you already are. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you, guys. I think that was a really good overview of what we're doing at Made Smarter, you know, what we're trying to achieve. If you get involved with the program, what to expect. And now you've met some of the key people who are actually behind Made Smarter. So I think that's always really good. You know, that's not just a kind of brand, and I think it makes it a lot more approachable now that you know who you'll be dealing with. So I've just finalised then by saying thank you to Kevin and Al, and sorry, Al, I don't know why I've just called you Alan even. I'm going to get sacked after this. And Ruth for joining me this afternoon. And like we said during this conversation, if you are interested, if it's something that you think could help you, if you're a manufacturer, an SME manufacturer in the Northwest, then have a look at the Made Smarter website, and also keep having a look on our social media. We're pretty active on LinkedIn. I'll reach out, you know, to one of the team. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. That's our first LinkedIn Live.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks,
Bye, everyone.